Well, hello, everyone. This is TexAgs Rewind. Today, we're going to post the right video. Kennedy Cavan's with me. Hello, Kennedy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, my goodness. We're going to talk like this. So we were having a discussion on air. We never got the rank. Your top 5 Thanksgiving meals. Go.
Turkey, number 1. Always got to be a meat number 1. Mashed potatoes and gravy. That's a staple in my life.
Yeah.
They always have to go together. That's been a staple in my life since the day I was born.
Okay.
I'm a mashed potatoes girl. I'm going to have to put rolls at 3.
Okay.
A nice warm roll with some butter.
Like that.
Unbeatable.
It's got to be warm.
Got to be warm.
Yeah, you put the little cloth over it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going deviled eggs 4.
Oh.
But Tony Chachere's has to be on top.
You can put Tony on anything.
And oh my gosh.
On cake?
That's my religion is Tony Chachere's putting it in anything. And then
Do you do it in your eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Especially scrambled eggs. You put Tony Chachere's in
Forget about it.
Forget about it. And then number 5, I think I'm going to have to do probably green beans. Just something very normal.
But just normal simple green beans, or you got to do some casserole-ish?
No casserole. See, I'm not a big casserole gal.
Okay.
But I love my vegetables. So green beans is just a solid choice.
YouTube audience, what do you think? You like it? Yes, no? You're okay with this list? Would you argue with her? Comment below. All right, the show was good today.
Yes.
We did a lot about Thanksgiving with the Go Hour because Obi and I were all over the place. Obi was in rare form, even during the breaks.
Yeah. It was a lot today. This morning was a lot.
There's a meeting with HR as we speak. John Harris, always good. His A&M scouting report. Appreciate Johnny. We did talk to Logan Lee. A lot of basketball talk. He's not going to overanalyze the past weekend. He's looking ahead and thinking good things are coming. And Peter Burns of the SEC Network talking about A&M, who they'd be in the World Cup, and much more of that here on, I can't speak English. What's the name of the show?
TexAgs Radio, but this is the Rewind.
Thank you. She's Kennedy. In a Cuban house, we throw in a little Cuban flair to it.
That's so that rice with the black beans
arroz,
in it, with the coconut
negros.
milk?
No, we don't do the coconut milk, but we do arroz y frijoles negros. We do yuca on Thanksgiving. Okay. Yeah, so we do a little bit of that. Or I think as you guys call it, you guys, Americans, yuca.
Yeah,
or yucca.
Yucca. The wife, being from having roots in Honduras, we get a lot of that rice with the black beans in it, but she makes it with coconut milk and
delicious. Yeah,
it's pretty tasty.
So, what is your favorite side dish?
Oh, dressing.
Dressing.
Yeah, I mean it's the only time I eat it. Now we used to do turkey and dressing at Christmas too, but that was when Mom was with us, and she's passed on. But so now it's just Thanksgiving, and I really like it.
Yeah,
I mean I really like it.
You like dressing?
I really like it with some brown gravy on it, mixing it in with my turkey.
I'm not a big dressing guy.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. My grandmother used to make it straight from cornbread, and have some celery in it. Oh yeah, I like dressing. I look forward to the dressing more than the turkey. Which, by the way, and I know we're probably not supposed to do this. I've never really liked turkey, and then I found the famous meat market here in town that
I haven't been yet.
That sells the smoked turkey.
Oh, ay que rico.
It is amazing. I discovered that 4 years ago, and I go every year. I bought 2 of the Reedfield smoked turkeys this year. And look, they're not even a sponsor as far as I know.
Yep.
And I'm just telling you something that's really good. So there
you go. So I said this to Dalton the other day. Do you consider macaroni part of a Thanksgiving? Because I feel like I have it often on Thanksgiving.
We have it.
I love macaroni.
We don't have anything green. You know what I hate? I wish they wouldn't even put it, and we're having it. And I wish they wouldn't even put it on the table. I don't know why people like it. It's a survey, yes or no.
Green
bean casserole.
I knew you were going there.
Looks like someone threw up.
Yeah,
and put some toasted onions on it.
Yeah, I'm not a big green bean guy anyway. I eat it, but it's not my thing. No.
I like green beans the way, Southern green beans, where there's so much meat in it, you hardly taste the green beans.
Yeah.
But other than green bean casserole, there will be nothing green on our table.
Nothing green on your table. Huh. No. I think we'll have green.
We won't have salad.
No salad.
We won't have green beans. We won't, except for in the casserole. We won't have peas.
No peas. What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm eating and watching. I'll try to sleep late. I won't.
Okay.
I'll get up. I'll spend a little time talking to my son and his friends who are there, and everybody else. And then people start arriving. I will look forward to watching the Lions. Then I'll look forward to watching the Cowboys.
Okay.
And then I'll probably watch the Egg Bowl.
Okay.
Or whatever, and back and forth to whatever game is NFL games on.
A lot of football. Yeah.
That's what I'll do, and and in between, I will eat. I will relax any thoughts I have about food. I will eat. I will eat dessert, maybe 2, maybe 3. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to just gorge. Enjoy. Don't worry about the calories or anything. Just for that day, it's like The Purge. You know the movie The Purge?
Yeah. I've never watched it, but you do
kill people, do anything you want, anything. That day, I'm not going to kill anybody except maybe myself.
Right.
But that day, everything goes, and then toward the end of the day, I'll probably have to purge.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to purge, no doubt about that.
Well, the biggest thing I would say, I don't know that I could say it on the radio, but it would be my philosophy, and that is, I'll put it this way: you see how you got balls on the table right there, David?
Mm-hmm.
You got balls right there on the table. There you go. That's the approach you have to take. Put the balls on the table, and I mean that's a little bit of everything, and the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out what players can't beat you. And Jaden Daniels scrambling can't beat you. And Harold Perkins off the edge can't beat you. So go into every game. And that's kind of how I approach every game as I look at it and go, okay, which guys can we absolutely not have beat us? Or what is it that a guy does that we can't let beat us? And Daniel's ability to run or create off schedule, off platform has, I think, given LSU a huge charge. And he's throwing the ball much better. He's much more confident. All those things are really working, I think, in LSU's favor. Harold Perkins has turned it up to a whole different level on the outside. And then he spies. I mean, he does so much. So I think you can't let Perkins ruin the game. So where is he? You got a man and a half, 2 accounting for 40. Because I don't look at anybody else in LSU other than B.J. Ojulari and think, okay, Ojulari can change the game, but not like Perkins. So I got to account for Perkins, and then I got to hope that one-on-one with Ojulari, he doesn't just kill me, because that's a really good player. And I think Ojulari might end up being a first-round pick. His brother was early second. I think he could be a first-rounder. He's got pass rush skills. But I got to make sure that Perkins doesn't ruin the game. Because that's what he has done the last few weeks. So if I start there and then I kind of work my way back, okay, how do I do that? How do I make sure Daniels doesn't ruin the game? Well, my pass rush can't just fly out of control. We got to be under control. We've got to change some coverage things behind them. But in changing some coverage things behind them, you've got to make sure that you're not confusing your own guys. So you got to keep it simple at the same time confusing Jaden Daniels, which sounds like a paradox, a football paradox, but that's what you have to do. And then the other side, account for Perkins, make sure 40's taken care of, and that's got to be 2 men, and that's got to be able to get your quarterback time to get rid of the football. And then you got to lay him on the table. 4th and 2, you got to go for it. 3rd and 1 situation might be play action, might be your best thing. You might have to do things that you don't normally do that are outside your comfort zone. But I say this I say this a lot in covering the Texans in some sense. It's 4th and 3. It's 4th and 1 in the second quarter. I'm like, you're 1-8-1. Go for it. What do you have to lose? What's Jimbo going to lose by going for it on 4th and 1? Maybe at his own 40 or something. When the game's maybe teetering one direction or the other, where he could pick up some momentum, or he could keep a drive going. That's a good drive. Faking a punt. It's not going to keep them from being bowl eligible. They're already not, and they're not going to be. So get some confidence any way you know how. Steal possession here or there. And then make sure that 5 and 40 don't wreck the game on either side of the ball. And you've got enough talent to be able to stick in the game and stay in the game. And the longer you stay in the game, the tighter LSU will get. And that's probably the one thing you got to bank on.
Yeah, A&M's got a long way to go. I think we knew that they had to grow and develop and develop to the point of where we were talking about, where we were mentioned the tournament, second game, maybe a second weekend. We knew that they had to grow, that they weren't there yet, but I don't think that we understood exactly how much that they needed to grow. This team needs to mature. The core group of guys are in their second year here. The transfers are older and more mature, but they're transfers and they're still trying to figure out the system. And I think when they got that number in front of their name, they broke the top 25. They got a little complacent, thinking, "Hey, we've arrived," and that's obviously not the case. Just because you have a number in front of your name, because you've beaten a couple of smaller schools, doesn't mean that Murray State isn't going to take it to you. It doesn't mean that Colorado isn't going to take it to you. So we learned that they have a ways to go. But I also think we learned that, and this is something that we learned last year, Buzz isn't afraid to change. During that 8-game losing streak, they changed things up. They opened the floodgates for Q. They figured out some different schemes on defense on how to work with a smaller lineup. And so we know that Buzz isn't afraid to change, and we know that he's already changed a little. I mean, he changed the starting lineup against Loyola Chicago just to send a message and see how that worked out. So this team still has a ways to go, but I haven't lost confidence in the fact that they are a tournament team, that they could get to the second game and possibly the second weekend, just depending on how much they grow.
So you're saying that this weekend for you was not a red flag, that you're not necessarily discouraged. It was just more, maybe a little bit more confidence going into something and not getting back to their roots of being a hungry, grinding kind of team.
No, I think they're always going to. I think they're going to, for the remainder of the year, I think they'll be hungry. I think this is a lesson for all of them to understand that you have to stay hungry and you can't just show up to win ball games. The only red flag for me is the fact that they couldn't adjust on the fly, or they didn't adjust on the fly. You saw against Murray State, they kept trying to push and push and push and play at a faster tempo, and that's how Murray State wanted to play, and they didn't adjust. They didn't go to Julius Marble when he was dominating whoever Murray State put on him to try to stop him. And then they followed it up against Colorado, and they didn't change one bit from the Murray State game to the Colorado game. And those were back-to-back games. So obviously it's tough for them to adjust on the fly right now at this point. You give them a day in between those games, and they came out against Loyola Chicago, and they were refocused, regrouped, and they were back at it with their defensive intensity and their basic principles of what they were doing on both offense and defense. But that was a day. It took them a day in between to sit back, realize, and then change. Whereas they didn't change and adjust on the fly. And I think that's the only red flag, because you're going to have to adjust in multiple times a game in the SEC. When it gets to the NCAA tournament, there are going to be teams that throw plays at you, throw schemes at you that they haven't run all year long, because they've held them back so that way no one could scout against them for those types of situations. And so they're going to have to be able to adjust quicker to be able to make it as far as we think that they can go.
Hey, did you ever get your answer about Team USA or the U.S. men's national team, what college football team they would be? Did you get a good answer for that?
Yeah, so I put that on Twitter about, I was trying to find out how much I need to buy into the team. And what's funny is people, and I said, all right, I look at everything through the prism of college football. So if the USA national team was a college football team, what would it be? And it was funny because the amount of people from across the country said one of two teams. They said it was Texas or Texas A&M. I thought that was hilarious that it was one of those two, that they were big brands, a lot of explosiveness, but haven't been able to kind of punch through as much kind of, credit that those teams traditionally normally get. And I found that to be hilarious as far as, we could have picked 131 teams, David, and the amount of people that picked those two were overwhelming favorites.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
I don't know, because I love soccer, and I'm thinking to myself, what would be fair? Because the U.S. men's national team, although they have a lot of players now playing internationally, Christian Pulisic obviously comes to mind, and Weston McKennie at Juventus, and there's some big names. But again, the best players in this country play football and baseball and basketball. They're not the best athletes, I should say.
Right.
So I would think maybe, I don't know, not TCU this year. I'm trying to think of like a program that got pretty good guys, that has potential, but doesn't get over the hump, and whoever that may be.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, I was going to say, could it be, maybe Kansas is a weird one because Kansas had started the season good, but then a lot of times they were just terrible, and there was some years, there was 2 World Cups we didn't even qualify for, but even going back in the day, we've had a little bit of success, so maybe not Kansas. I was trying to think, because you're right, I mean, like a younger kid now, and there's more training camps available, and training, opportunities for young athletes to play that. But, I mean, the juice is around football. The juice is around basketball, around baseball, not so much soccer in the United States. Although I do understand that it's growing a lot.
All right, Miss Cavan, let's end the show on a positive note. What do you tell the people?
Before I tell the people what they need to do,
yeah,
I remember my first time I worked radio production in this office. You called me out on radio.
What did I say?
You made me say this.
Yeah, I did.
I have never been more red in my entire life. My cheeks, it was very embarrassing. But I'm here to tell you very confidently now.
Okay.
You need to like, comment, and subscribe.
Let's try some more stuff. What happened on November 22nd, 1963? JFK.
Yep.
What happened on March 6, 1836?
1836?
He said Buffalo.
Buffalo.
No, Alamo. I was
Alamo.
Yeah. Anything. Pythagorean theorem.
I'm a sociology major with
A
a journalism minor. I'm not.
Is it A squared plus B squared equals C squared? Or
Sure.
something like that.
Sure.
Pi. What's pi?
3.14.
Yeah, there you go. I just asked you the only things that I know. She's Kennedy. Thank you so much. It's TexAgs Rewind.